too hard, you gotta let it slide.
My name is Herbie Kawuma. I was born in Uganda and raised there in a family of 5 kids, and I happened to be number 2. So I have 3 young brothers, or I had, and then a big sister. So me being number 2 and the boy, the oldest boy in my family, it came as responsibility that I didn't know from when I was a baby. That I am the oldest boy in the family. In case of anything, you take the leadership of the family. So my mom died when I was 9, and my dad died when I was 13. So, which made me to be the father of my siblings and a caretaker of my big sister at that age. So I started working when I was 13. You asked me what kind of work, anything that I could get my hands on, I would do it. From building, I'm not a good builder today because the first building I worked on, they didn't pay me. So I did hate it, really building. It was $1 that I worked for all day. Pushing these wheelbarrows full of sand and everything, and all that I wanted is to get that $1 that I could buy food for my brothers. And when I got so tired, I sat down for 5 minutes, and this guy said, "Herbie, you're not getting paid because you just been seated all day." So I got really mad and I quit that job. I tried selling food on the streets. I tried selling old things from people. And it all was preparing me for this thing that I didn't call for. So as time went on, I started dancing in order to take care of my family and doing music, which I succeeded in, thank God. And then I became one of the top dancers in my country. And I forgot about all the pain, and it was time for Hollywood. I just wanted to be a superstar, like drinking. That was when I was turning 16. I started drinking, clubbing. Everybody knew me. I could get in any club in Uganda. However much I was underage, I could get in any place for free. We call it face value. That's how then I could get in. I felt like I owned the whole world. I felt like everything is going to be good for me. And I was getting a lot of money that time through dancing and performing, writing songs for artists. And all I thought about having money was to get everything that I never had. That was a good life, good beddings. I loved a good bed because I grew up in a house. After I lost my mom and dad, we had no bed, but we had to share one bed with my siblings where we slept on with heads on, legs on the floor. So I wanted a good bed, I wanted a good car, I wanted a big house. Until I met this young boy called Matthew, who always came running after me, like chasing me down every time he could see me on the streets. All what he wanted was me teaching him dancing. And I always say no to him for a reason. He didn't go to school, and I always found him in a place where they sell drugs. So I thought this boy was going to turn out to be a drug dealer or a drug addict, which I thought wasn't good for him. And I was the coolest boy around the area. I told him, no, I'm not going to teach you dancing unless you go to school. And what he answered me was, my father doesn't want to pay for my school fees. So as a boy full of my pride, I paid for my own school fees. I paid for my young brother's school fees. How could it be that this father doesn't want to pay for his son's school fees? Yes, I'm famous. Everybody knows me. Nobody can touch me. Yeah, nobody can touch me. So I grab this boy by the hand and tell him, I'm going to go talk to your dad. And I know, youth, when you're around that age, 18, you feel like you're the strongest man. I was the Tarzan of the area. So I'll go to this man's house and knock on the door waiting for him to come out. And when he came out, I usually explain it as a punch on my head, like those who did boxing, like you get boxed on the head, you punch on the head and you get in a shock for minutes. I don't know how long it took, but I stood there looking at this man and I remembered everything that I'd gone through. My mom was lucky. He died before my dad. that had to take care of him, and he would pay for for her medication and everything. But my dad, I had to pay for his medication. I saw my dad dying of HIV/AIDS, like from the strongest man I had ever known in my life, turning out to be like a child in my hands, carrying him in bed, washing him, changing his clothes, which really traumatized my head in my early years, that to look at him turning into bones. So I look at this man and all I see is my father. This man was going through the exactly situation my dad had gone through, like really sick. And he had HIV, he had TB, he had other types of cancers. So instead of me fighting with this man, I chose to ask him if I could take care of his son. I don't know why I said it. I don't know, because I usually tell people I never chose this. This chose me. From the story I told you that I was born number 2, I'm the first boy. It would have been somebody else, but it happened to be me. So I took in this boy and I started to take care of Matthew. Matthew, he was 9 then. Today, if you see a picture of him, me and Matthew looks like my big brother. He's doing fashion and designing, industrial art, majoring in fashion and designing at the main university in Uganda. And is one of those who work with us in Light Up Life Foundations, responsible for all the children. Today, Light Up Life will meet out to more than 5,000 people who we help in different things. So Matthew is responsible to see that all these people, they get food and they get something to eat. That's how it came to be Light Up Life. Light Up Life started as a thing called Maisha, which is a Swahili word, which means life, because it was all about, this journalist comes to me and asks me, oh, you're doing charity, and I didn't know that I was doing charity. What is the organization called? And I didn't know what it was called, because I didn't choose it. And I said, it's Maisha, meaning life brought this up. So after a long time, then we had to register as an organization in Uganda, and then I moved to Norway. I get a lot of this money, which I never had in my life. Again, beyond that I had before when I was 16, 18. I'm working in Norway. Job for 15 minutes, I get more than almost 15 Ugandan million shillings, and I get excited. I'm like, my sister, do you have any other kids around the area who don't go to school? Now I'm the richest young boy in East Africa, so get all these kids and I'll take care of them. So I took these kids, 25 of them, not knowing these kids, the more they grow, the need is going to grow high in expenses. But luckily, God has been merciful to me. Every time I've met the war, He always makes a way where it seems to be no. 2012, I'm running out of all my savings and all this money that I thought I was having much. And that's when God came into again and said, Herbie, I called you for this. You didn't choose yourself. And He made me to be the role model of the year 2012 in Norway. And He came with, so I just want to say thank you so much. And my God, fill you up with life and lead you right in all your footsteps, that you feel everything that you are created to do, and never give up. Even when you feel like it's not going, there's a difference being made. All I needed was $1 that I'd never paid. But today I have much, and I'm blessed that I can give it out to other people to benefit from it. So thank you everybody, and thanks for your time.
Change
Shake your head a little bit. Good.